I've got to talk about this city in Los Angeles County called Huntington Park, which is the most illegal city in the state, or at least to my knowledge, according to them themselves. The city put out a bunch of statements from their city council members and from their PR department, their communications, that gave some statistics that I thought were unbelievable. Literally, I'm not even sure if I believe it. First of all, they're claiming since the ice raids, it has turned into a ghost town. Everyone is scared to go outside, to which generally I kind of think, is that really the case? Or are you just trying to play up the drama? But according to people at the city, get this number, as many as 45% of the residents are undocumented. I like to say illegal because that's the legal term there. 45%, almost half of the people that live in this city are allegedly undocumented, illegal aliens in this country illegally. Now, there's more to this. There's kind of nuances here, but I think the funniest part about this is the irony that happened earlier this year. Get this. This is almost too much. A city councilman by the name of Esmeralda Castillo was kicked off of the city council of Huntington Park because she was there illegally, not because she was in the country illegally. That's not what I'm saying. She didn't live in the city. So the city that has a city councilwoman that doesn't even live in the city that she supposedly represents and was kicked off of the city council because of that also has an extraordinarily high percentage of people that are in the city illegally. That kind of tracks with me. The irony is dripping and it's all too much. Here to comment on that and so much more is our fantastic panel. Elizabeth Barkohana is a Central Committee member on the LA Republican Party, and Tiffany Marie Brandon is a political conservative commentator. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate you taking the time.
Hi, Joe Bob.
Tiffany, I want to start with you here. I was shocked by this because I started reading the story and it kind of talks about, well, it's a ghost town. People are afraid to leave. And then I saw the statistic of 45% of people, according to the cities, are in that city, but also in the country illegally. Is there any reason why ICE wouldn't just set up an HQ there in that city and just take care of that problem?
Honestly, I'm like, why didn't we know this sooner? We would have made it, we could have made a hub, we could have built a building, we would have gotten people in there. And what's crazy is that on July 7th, they passed a vote, unanimous 5-0 vote, to make this a sanctuary city officially. And what you're looking is, what's bizarre to me, you mentioned the fact that one of their city council women was there illegally. Democrats have no problems obeying laws when it, benefits them and helps them. But what this really also points out to me is just complete lack of understanding of what's going on in their state. You look at Orange County. Orange County right now has over 7,000 homeless that are American citizens for the most part. And in the last 2 years, we've seen a 50% increase in deaths of homeless people due to fentanyl poisoning and fentanyl overdosing. So when they're sitting there pumping their, sanctuary city money into these illegal immigrants and protecting them at all costs, unless it goes against their bottom line, they're really neglecting their own citizens that they're supposed to be representing in, the entire county.
Yeah, it really is. It's unfair to the people that are here legally, or it's really unfair that came to this country through the correct process. Elizabeth, this is in your backyard. I think the county party that you help oversee has this is their jurisdiction. Obviously, you don't have any sort of power necessarily, but do you think that this sort of outrageous statistic can kind of help sway the conversation back to sanity in your mind?
Well, 45% of a whole city, admitting that they are illegal is just an admission of the problem here in California. And keep in mind, all 45% of those people in that city were counted in the census. That counts toward, House representation of the congressman in that covers that district. So, to me, this is basically like waving a flag, like, come get us, we're all here. And, they say that it's a ghost town. I think that's a joke. If you're not supposed to be here. And also it's a reflection, not only this, but what you mentioned about the city councilman. Liberals believe in a moral relativism. They don't believe in firm right and wrong. They believe that the ends will justify the means. And so, the logical extension of that is they will follow the laws that they think are right and just and further their interests and their goals, but not the ones that don't. And so they are, the epitome of the antithesis of a law and order party.
Yeah,
And
that is
people
a
understand that.
that is a great point about the census. Yeah, all of those people get counted. I wonder why conservatives want a census done sooner than later to not count all of those people. That is a great point.